Welcome to Let's Talk UCA, the podcast where we connect, collaborate, and communicate with chiropractors from around the globe. I'm Holly, and in this episode, I'm joined by Renkin-Holloway as we speak with Raymond Nichols. Ray shares the deeply personal experiences that shaped his commitment to chiropractic and helping others optimize their health. We explore the challenges facing new graduates, the importance of understanding your why, and why chiropractic care should prioritise whole person wellbeing over symptom management alone. Hi everyone, thank you both so much for joining us. Before we get into all the questions, I just wanted to ask you both, how are you and where are you?
I'm great, thank you. I'm currently in Manchester. I'm back in my childhood bedroom. You can see the cowboy hat above me here. And I'm doing great.
Awesome. And so I am in the US, in South Carolina, US, Greenville, South Carolina. And so yeah, glad to be here.
Hey, it's great to finally talk to you, Raymond. I do feel like I kind of already know you because I've been stalking you online for about 3 weeks now. So it's great to actually finally talk to you. So the first thing I wanted to ask you, it was a really big theme. I'm a new graduate. I graduated this last year, actually. It was a big theme in my journey in chiropractic university. My first technique class, our teacher sat us down and he told us to define our why. So why chiropractic? So I'm really interested what your chiropractic why is.
Gotcha. I get my why from my childhood experience. So my grandparents raised me. And so I watched them make this a shorter story because I can make it a longer story. But I basically watched, like, again, since they raised me, so I was able to see them at a point of their life where they were working. My grandfather had his own business. I used to foot race my grandfather. Like, I used to see them go for walks. I used to see them go to the park. I used to see them go to drive an hour and a half to the casino to Biloxi, Mississippi. And so like I saw that part of them, but then I also saw the totally opposite side of that as well. But I saw the whole transition happen though, right? And it wasn't because of old age or anything like that. I know people want to probably say that, but it wasn't because of old age. It was because of their health, right? Their health was declining, and they were in this in the medical system that we're in, and no one ever gave them answers. They only gave them prescriptions and more prescriptions. And when those didn't work, they got more prescriptions and more prescriptions to the point where my grandfather had to retire from his basically he had to like shut his own he's an entrepreneur, so he had to shut his business down. My grandmother had to quit working. They stopped going to the casino. They stopped walking. Like, they stopped doing all of these different things that they were doing, and it wasn't by choice. It was because their health had went sideways. And so that gives me my why, because I don't want to see people live that way, because I truly believe that we are put here to experience the greatest potential of health. And when we are our healthiest self, our most vibrant self, most energized self, then we can get the most out of this thing called life. We can squeeze every ounce of juice out of it, per se. But if we don't have our health, then like we can't, right? We can't enjoy this thing called life, right? And so that gives me my why as far as helping patients get back to helping them optimize their health so they can optimize their life, because that's really what it's about. That's why we do what we do. And so that's my why. That's why I get up every morning, to make sure that I can help someone not go down the same path as my grandparents did, unfortunately. But their path gave me my why, I guess you would say.
That's fantastic. That's really lovely to hear that you're looking out for the future generation, that they can get as much life out as life as possible. So in all of my internet stalking, I saw that you started some stuff in regards to engaging new graduates / students, so the younger population of chiropractic. And what I wanted to ask you, is there anything in your first year of practice that, like any beliefs or ideas about chiropractic in your first year of like as a DC that was challenged at all?
Yes. So that's why I created it. So I created Neuro Chiro Directory. That was the start of it. And so that's a platform for basically for general population to find great chiropractic care. Because I hear all the time is like, hey, I had to go to 5 chiropractors to find you. I'm like, you shouldn't have to do that, right? There should be a place where you go to find excellent chiropractic care. And I got tired of people asking me where to go, so I basically created it. And so right now I'm literally building it. And so actually, my plan was to come to UK to promote that as well. But with that being said, an extension of that would be the mastermind that I created for new grads and also for chiropractic students. And the reason for that is because when I first graduated, and you may be in it, you may be in this gap here. School teaches us like the information, right? They give us
Mm-hmm.
you know, the things, all the things they have to give us as far as like chiropractic wise, what to do here, what to do there. Obviously, there's not a lot of business and stuff in that, right? I'm not expecting that from chiropractic school. But what they don't teach us is how do you apply it? And like, how do you show up as a doctor and not as a student?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of time we graduate, we walk across the stage, okay, and we got the title now. We can put the DR in front of our name or a DC behind our name, but mentally, we're still a student. And that was the biggest thing in my first year was that like I was in student mode, right? But no, like the faster you can get into the doctor mode, the identity, and like you can shift your identity to truly understand that you are a doctor, people are going to trust you. And you got to make sure that, hey, how are you showing up for these people? Right? Are you showing up in student mode where you over explaining things, where you're not certain in your recommendations, or you're stumbling over your words because of you don't have that maybe the knowledge, or like you don't feel comfortable in your own skin, or you have a Stockholm syndrome, like whatever what is it? Right? Um and so I would say that would be the biggest challenge that was my first year was like getting through that gap. Because as soon as I got through the gap
Mm-hmm.
and I got on the other side of, okay, all right, I'm a doctor, right? It's no longer the student mode, but it's actually like now I'm certain in what I do, what I say, how I move, how I analyze, how I adjust. Like there's certainty in that, and there's a difference, and we can all feel it, but we can't articulate it, and your patients can't articulate it, but they know that there's a difference, and you know that there's a difference, right? And so my biggest thing I want to try to help close that gap for new grads or for chiropractic students to understand that, hey,
Mm-hmm.
you are a doctor, right? You just don't have the title yet, but don't wait till you get the title to start acting like a doctor. If you can do it sooner, is the better.
Percent, yeah. Better to be prepared than playing catch up. Just to
Then
touch a
catch
little
up.
bit
Yeah.
on, so on the theme of uncertainty, you've spoken about how that was an issue for you in your first year. It was like being certain about your care plans, being certain about your analysis, being certain of your care of the patient. Is there anything in particular where you saw certainty from? Like for me, I'm a big nerd. I love research. That's where I find a lot of my certainty. Is there things that you rely on to give yourself certainty every day?
Yeah, I got you. I would say what I leaned on was philosophy, because that it may sound weird, but like I'm not committed to chiropractic.
Mhm.
I'm committed to the philosophy of chiropractic, because that is what resonated with me the most when I even thought about going to chiropractic school. It was the philosophy. It was like,
Mhm.
hey, this makes like 100% sense. Like, what you? Yes, this is what. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to teach people this, and I want to help people through this this lens, right? This inside out lens. So I say I really heavily weighed in and leaned in on philosophy, right? Which obviously helped. But I know I was uncertain in other other areas of practice, right? Business, communication, right? All those things. But yes, I would say that would at least kind of got me going, right? Because you gotta have something to lean on. I'm there with you, Molly.
Yeah. Well, I love my philosophy as well, but for me, I love my numbers. I love my spreadsheets. I love my
Gotcha.
numbers. So that was my biggest thing of certainty was research. So just you spoke a little bit about communication as well and what we just spoken about, and I'm interested because I'm in this phase right now. And there's all these people telling me to shift my focus onto different things and go to certain seminars and study new techniques. In your opinion, is it more important in your first year of practice to cultivate your communication or your technique?
Great question.
Thank you. All right. Great question. Thank you for asking it. That's literally, again, that's what I'm be teaching. The mastermind starts next Tuesday, so I'm excited. So I'm going to say that communication, because I'm assuming that we've done the work as far as our hands analysis, not saying like you've perfected it. No, because like it's an evolution, right? But you're confident in your hands, you're confident in your analysis. Now, are you as confident in your communication as the art of chiropractic? Right? Because we know it's chiropractic, it's an art, science, and philosophy, but it also is it's a communication and it's a leadership, right? And we haven't even touched on those things. We don't learn those in school, but
Yeah.
the communication piece, if you can learn communication, guys, because you got to think about, if you can't communicate, you'll never get the person on the table for these to communicate. If you can't communicate here, how can you use these to communicate? Because that's what people say. It's like, oh yeah, when I get you on my table, like it's going to change it. Like no, like
Yeah.
people borrow your certainty, right? So when you're certain in what you do and how you do it, and when you do it, people borrow your certainty. Now they're like, oh, Molly, I feel like Molly has me. Right? So like, yeah, Molly, I do it. Let's make it happen. I'm tired of dealing with this. I can tell you're very certain. I can tell you have a plan. I can tell that there's direction. I can tell that, hey, if this doesn't go like it should, you have a plan for that. If this goes like it should, we have a plan for that as well. And so I can borrow your certainty for the time being until I'm able to experience chiropractic. And now I don't have to borrow your certainty anymore, because now I have my own certainty, because I got my life back. I'm playing with my kids again. I'm having better relationships with the people around me. Like my life has totally changed, but it was all because of what you said and how you said it and how you did it. And it wasn't because of your adjustment.
Well, it's great. That's a really great way to put it. They're never going to get to experience it unless you actually get them on the table.
Yeah,
So
you got to be able to communicate.
get them on the table. Is there any habits that you started early on in your chiropractic career, whether that's in your personal life or within your actual professional life, any habits that you think have served you really well for your time in the chiropractic profession?
A habit that I'm gonna say the continuation of learning, right? Of the continuation of all five of those things I just mentioned, right? So the science, the philosophy, the art, the leadership, and also the communication. Because again, like you don't just wake up and you're at this point. It's like, no, like you have to work your way to get there, right? And you have to learn from experiences that you've been through, but also knowing that, hey, I'm going to create new experiences, but I'm also going to intentionally create new experiences by trying to create, like, whether trying to go to this seminar, I want to do this, I want to do all these things, because what it really comes down to is that you're trying to evolve as a human being, because as long as you are continuing to evolve as a human being, all those other aspects, those five domains that I just mentioned, they're going to evolve as well. But it's really when we stop, like, we become comfortable and we're like, oh yeah, I know how to adjust. Like I get this, like I know how to communicate. No, like there's always something more that you can learn. It could just be like one sentence that you go to a seminar and just like the way they said it, it was like, ah, that's an aha moment there, right? Because I was just talking to my health coach this morning. My health coach has her husband. So he's finally doing we have like a ultimate body cleanse in our office. And so she's talked about it over and over and over for years, right? But she did a workshop, he came to it, and like he heard it with different ears this time though. Like it landed totally different. And so it's the same with other people as well, right? So you just gotta make sure like you may not be ready to hear or you may not be ready to experience right now, but if you keep going at it, you keep working, and you keep building on yourself, then you're going to hear something and you've heard it in the past, but because you are a totally different person now, then you're going to hear it different and it's going to hit different and it's going to elevate you totally different. Right. So I would say continue to work on those things and make a habit of it. Never become complacent. Never become complacent.
But Raymond, how would you recommend selling chiropractic care to people without applying too much pressure?
Without applying too much pressure, you say? So selling. So I would say this. We literally just had a team meeting, and I mentioned this. So I gave my team a KPI, right, a key performance indicator, of life effects. So what a life effect is Joe. Let's say Joe comes in with neck pain. Joe has neck pain, okay, but it's our job to help Joe understand that this neck pain he's experiencing, because he's not coming in for neck pain. People don't come in for symptoms. They come in because the neck pain is screwing up. Hey, like it's causing me pain, obviously, yes, but I can't focus at work. So like, but my job, I'm an engineer, so like I can't mess up on anything. So if I mess up on anything, then I lose my job, then I lose my income. If I lose my income, then how does my family eat? And then I'm stressed out now. I'm getting more so excited now, and also this neck pain is causing me to my sleep to be off. So I'm not sleeping like I should. And when you're sleeping, your body's recovering, your body can't recover, then you're slowly breaking down and getting more into that cortisol and sympathetic state. And so it's our job to paint that picture for Joe that it's not just neck pain. The neck pain is impacting your entire life, Joe. The question is, are you ready to do something about that? And Joe, if you are, we can do something about that. Okay.
Joe's listening to this podcast right now, isn't he?
But so there's no convincing. It's no convincing. I think if you do a great job of, again, go back to communicating and understanding human beings and understanding like people's lives, right? Just look at people as human beings and understand like, hey, I know Joe is an engineer. Having neck pain doesn't help Joe as an engineer, right? And so if you can put the picture together, and Joe, when you paint it like that, I'm telling you, I ask questions. I'm like, how is this affecting like how you show up for your wife, right? How's it affecting how you show up for your kids? Because Joe, what I've seen in my experience is when people are in pain, or even when I'm in pain myself, like I'm short and I'm not a good person to be around. And it's like, yeah, I'm snappy around my kids. And I haven't been that way, and I'm noticing that I don't like it, right? And so it's like shit get real. It get real when you start to put the pieces together. And my team has this thing that Dr. Ray makes people cry. Like I don't purposely make people cry, but when you paint the picture, you will get some tears. And it won't be every time, but you will get tears because no one has ever painted the picture for them. They sat in front of doctors, and the doctors didn't listen. they maybe just prescribed them something. They didn't give them a plan. They didn't ask them about their goals, right? So they're experiencing something totally different, and they're able to like lean in and like really just be like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I found you, Molly.
Great. Well, I have a question in regards to um, for new graduates looking for like their first jobs, if they want to be an associate or they're looking for mentors in general. What are some things you think people should look out for to stay away from, like red flags, basically?
Red flags.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say this before we go into red flags: is that coming? Remember I mentioned about the gap, right? The student
Mm-hmm.
mode. When you're in the gap, like you don't feel confident, like you don't feel like a doctor, right? You don't know your worth, like none of those things. So what ends up happening, we end up like taking any and everything, right? But the thing is, like, your first experience can totally like impact your entire career in a good way or a bad way,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you're going to build habits, right? You built the habits in school, and now we're trying to unlearn those habits because they don't serve us here in the real world. Not all of them, at least, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if you get a bad associateship, you end up creating these habits, and then now you bring these habits with you, or you got to try to unlearn those habits, right? And so I would say like being very, very intentional and making sure like we're not like just rushed into something. I would say the number one thing is to always know that everything is negotiable. I'll say it again. Everything is negotiable. All right. And I say it to say is that I want a doctor, I want an associate doctor or whoever. If I'm going to hire someone and I put a contract out there for them, I don't want them to just be like, "Oh yeah, Dr. Ray, this looks good." Like no, Molly. Like I expect you, Molly, to lean in and be like, "Dr. Ray, I don't, can we do this instead of this?"
Mm-hmm.
What I'm gonna say? Worst I can say is no.
Yeah.
All right. How about we do this versus this? Right? Because I want to know that the doctor that's going to be working in here and helping the people and loving on the people that I've helped build here, they're going to lean in when a person gives them an objection. They're
Mm-hmm.
going to lean in when someone says something off the wall. They're not going to lean away because leaning in means leadership, right? It means that, hey, I'm committed. I'm not just here. Like, no, like I'm committed. So like, let's lean in. Let's figure this thing out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing I would say, like me as a owner looking for associates, I'm looking for people to negotiate. Like if we're not negotiating like 2 or 3 times back and forth, like honestly, I probably won't even hire you because I know that you're just going to just, all right, just it is what it is, or you're not going to lean in when it's time to lean in, right? A red flag I would look out for would be any type of vagueness. So it could be anything. If it's vague and it's like, there's like a ballpark, it's like a range, like no, like you want to be very exact as far as like, is it your pay? Is it some type of like percentage off of, maybe new leagues that you get into the office? So be very exact as far as when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm.
No vagueness. Okay. Also, if they put in like a non-compete, right? And I would look out for the non-competes as well, because some non-competes, you put a non-compete in a contract, if you say like 10 miles, like you gotta leave this, you gotta depend on what city you're in or what town you're
Yeah.
in, but you legit probably have to leave, right? And move elsewhere. So that could be a big red flag as well if they have like 15 mile, like that's crazy. that's
Mm-hmm.
that's the that's the next city over. Um, that I'm gonna say, so like the exactness, the non-compete would be a big one. Um, making sure that your role, like your responsibilities, all your responsibilities are in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing that I know to be true, and this applies across the board in just life in general, is that every relationship starts with clear expectations and honest agreements.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have to have expectations that, hey, Molly, this is what, as you are my, let's say I'm gonna call you my caregiver doctor, right? Meaning that you're here to take care of the patients, right? You're not here to build a business. I'm a business builder, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a caregiver doctor. I'm a business builder. I love giving care though, but I'm a business builder. I know who I am. So let's say, Molly, you're a caregiver. If I put you out there to build a business, you're going to like fall flat on your face. You could do it for a short amount of time, but it's not where you want to live at,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's not like you're like, it's just like I love being out there and like talking to people, meeting people, like, let's go. Like I can do it all day. Like it energizes me. I just get like more energy. Like, let's do it. As you can see, as I went through this podcast, like just get it, I get through it by people. Like I love human beings. And then some people not so much, but it's not a bad or good thing. But I said to say is that making sure that like, okay, you're a caregiver, and making sure that again, like I mentioned about the exactness, also again, the time frame, not time, the radius as well,
Yeah.
making sure that's
Non-compete.
there, and then the expectations. And then if we got clear expectation, you know exactly what I expect of you. And then now we gotta just agree on it. So every relationship, remember that. So like whether it's associate doctor to owner, where it's a
Mm-hmm.
patient, doctor, you have to set expectations. Because if no expectations are set, then what am I expecting to you? And then what do you expect from me? Because we never said it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so if it's set, then that's what you do.
Yeah.
Do not, all right, whoever listening, do not, if it's not set, if it's not in there, like boom, 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 you're gonna do X, Y, Z, right? All these things. It's like, hey, Molly, I'm gonna have you go out and do lunch and learns this week. And there's nowhere even in your contract about lunch and learns, right? And so, I'm gonna have you do lunch and learns, and then I'm gonna have you do a screening as well. I got a couple screens set up. I'm gonna have you do those too. And while you at it, can you go to these corporate offices and see if we can set up more lunch and learns? That'll be great as well. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm just giving you stuff to do, and it's not even in your job title or job role or
Yeah.
responsibility. So I would say
Well,
that would be a few
off
things.
of that,
Yep, go ahead.
so we spoke about, because at the UCA we have a range of members. So there's students, there's new graduates like myself, but the majority, correct me if I'm wrong, Holly, the majority of the membership, they're actually people who are looking for associates. So they're looking to provide a learning experience, they're looking to provide a job. So what is your advice to people looking for associates? How can they best support new graduates so they can flourish?
I would have to go back to the expectations. So if you're an owner looking for this, listen to this. The expectations are everything. You have to be very clear in the beginning of the relationship. And when you are very clear in any beginning of any relationship, the relationship is easy because everyone knows what to expect, right? Just imagine like you're dating someone, you didn't set expectations and they didn't set expectations. And now we're just like out here like lusting and like, you did that. But, in my head, I'm like, that give me the ick. I don't even like that. But if I would have said at the beginning, like, hey, I don't like this. I love this. Boom, boom, boom. I'm just being straight up. Hey, this is me. And you're like, hey, this is cool. Can we agree to that? Perfect. That makes life so much easier. It makes relationships weightless, I would say. Right. And then when someone gets outside of their expectations, then let's just go back to the expectations that we set, Molly. Right? Because now it's not me against you, Molly. It's us against this paper here that we set expectations on. And how do we get back in alignment with the expectations that we set 2 years ago?
Yeah.
You with me? So I would say that if it is
100%.
docs out there looking for associateships, I think is you can get super crystal clear on what it is that you want a associate for. Like, is it to build a business? Is it to just like take something off your plate? Are you doing it to fill a gap that should have been filled before you even hired this person on? Like, you got to understand why you're hiring first, because if you don't understand why you're hiring, it creates a monster every time when you bring this other person on. Right. And that's not on the associate, that's not on them, it's on the owner itself, by not knowing why they need or why they want a associate doctor, because that matters as well.
So your advice is get clear about what you want from an associate and communicate at the beginning of the relationship the expectations.
And
Love
that
it.
kills majority of the problems down the road.
Love it. That's fantastic. I think we're running out of time, and I'm absolutely dying to ask you this question. So I'm going to swap to a new topic really quickly.
All right, let's do it.
Obviously, you have a very strong social media presence, and you've got a very well cultivated social media, very well presented. So something I've found quite distressing in the past couple of years is AI generated videos. Because what I've been seeing on my Instagram in particular is these AI generated videos of chiropractic. And they're usually of some little old lady that's been thrown across a room, or exaggerated rotation of the head in a cervical adjustment and the patient screaming in pain. And I'm a nerd, like I said. I fell a little bit into the research of how AI functions. So basically how it functions is it just searches anything online, and whatever is the majority of the information that it finds, it uses that as a base basically to construct its opinion. So because there is so much misinformation about chiropractic, what do you think is our best tool online and on social media to combat that misinformation? It's a big one.
Video,
It's a big one, but I want to know.
Yeah. I'm gonna speak on the videos, because I feel like with the AI, right, I feel like it makes things worse. Yes, I know people get a laugh out of it, like, cool, yeah, right. 1 or 2 videos here and there, but like it's everywhere, like it's crazy. But I feel like it just even like puts us behind as a profession, because like people already don't know what chiropractic is. They're already afraid, or like whatever it may be, and they watch this little old lady gets, even again, they know it's AI and those things, but
some
it
people
still
don't.
does something to the psyche though. And some people people don't. Some people are really gullible.
No, my
out there.
parents
Like,
don't know it's AI. They get
that's
tricked by AI
crazy.
videos all the time. And I'm like, this is clearly AI. So it's people of my parents' age, which they're 60, and they're getting tricked. And they're some of the best customers of chiropractic are like, people who are about to retire, who are slightly older. So that's probably why I find it so distressing, is because I've seen people be tricked by it.
Gotcha. Okay. that changes the game before where I was gonna go with this, because I assumed that everybody, like, if they saw an old lady get thrown in the wall, it's like, that can't be real. Like, no way. Like, it has to be fake.
Yeah.
Right?
No, but it really, the only way you can tell is sometimes like the leg is like going in a really weird direction. But like, people get tricked by it, and that's why I find it so distressing.
That is very distressing. Wow. I did not know that, because in my head, I'm assuming that everyone, like, no, they're getting a good laugh, but they know that, this is fake. It's not real, right?
Some of them you can tell.
Yeah.
Some of them you can really tell, but there's some that they really do look lifelike. So,
and they're only going to get better and better.
That is,
like, the quality's only, that's what's scary too.
That's why I think people like you are so important. I also want to start my own Instagram page, but I don't really know where to start. But so it's so important that we have chiropractors that are shown to be giving care, that are shown to be thoughtful, attentive, and science-based. And it's what you do a really good job of on your social media. Like, you are showing that we're science-based, it's about a paradigm shift, that we're reliable, that we're effective. All of those things are just so important. And actual real life videos of what chiropractic care looks like are so important.
I think, and just going into that, I guess that's my solution right now, would be doing more of those things, right? Even though, like you say, some people don't know what's AI versus not, right? So that's very scary. Again, you just gave me an aha moment there, even though it was simple. But again, I just assumed that, oh, I can tell what's AI generated versus not. So I mean, I'm sure everyone can. But like you say, I guess if I'm thinking about it for older people, I mean, they may not be able to tell the difference. Um, and so, yeah, that's very scary. So what comes up for me is that doing more communication, um, more like obviously like the posting aspect, but just like telling the truth, just like you mentioned about like if there's videos of adjusting, but just like and some people they may not even like what I say here, but you know, it is what it is. Hey, there's an area for growth there. There's some resistance. But with that being said, because I know a lot of our videos, not even the AI generated, the real videos, real people, right? Is we're always looking for the crack. And so
Yeah.
like it's not even the AI video we gotta deal with. Now it's like, oh, okay, let me put this, you know, this mic here. Well, I need to have them hear the crack. So like it does something to the person because they want to hear that crack. So people are looking at those videos and now like they're thinking that's chiropractic. And so like it's a man, it's so many things out there on social media that like just does the profession a disservice as far as when I say a
Yeah.
disservice as far as like not understanding what chiropractic truly is. And I think a big part of that is the profession itself, because the profession is so confused on what chiropractic is. So, of course, we get a lot of different messaging out there. And so, if we are confused ourselves as a profession, then what do you think the public would think about chiropractic? If we don't know what it is, they for sure
Don't
won't
know what
know
it
it, don't
is.
have any idea what it is, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where, you know, AI comes in. You talking about that piece. The videos were just doing the crack. Like now people are just so confused. And so again, that's why I created that directory. Cause I'm like, man, like people don't know where to go. They don't, right? And so that's scary. I wish I could give you a better answer, but you kind of like threw me for a loop there. Um, because I just assumed everyone knew they were fake.
No, that's the sad truth and that's why I think it's so important that you addressed a good thing in there, and it's something that I feel in myself is that sometimes the chiropractic that is represented online is not the chiropractic I grew up with. It's not the chiropractic I practice. And you're right. In my opinion, there's a lot of conflicting voices inside of the profession that they're too busy arguing with each other instead of defining themselves as a profession so that we can actually be able to present ourselves to the public. So, and then just
Yes.
one very last question. I'm sorry, Holly.
Got more questions too.
For people like myself, and people of an older generation that maybe want to start, engaging in social media as a chiropractor, what's your biggest advice to starting? Just start.
Just start. What's
Simple,
good?
easy
What
to
are we waiting on?
apply. Exactly. Okay. Great.
Right.
We want to avoid the AI crazy clips, and we want to find your profile. What's your handle? Where can we find you on socials?
Instagram, Dr. Raymond Nichols. Most of them I like Instagram. I do have a TikTok, but I'm not on there a lot as far as like putting content out. But I would say Instagram.
Instagram it is
I like
then.
to hang out on Instagram.
Yep, perfect. No problem. We'll find you there. I have a couple more questions for you too. So if you were to have dinner with 4 other people, dead or alive, can be anyone you want, who would you choose at your dinner table?
All right. Kevin Hart's gonna be one of them. So we got Kevin, and then I would need to get Dee Dee. Because I would like to know like the why. I would like to know. I would have a lot of questions for Dee Dee Palmer. We got 2 more, right?
Yep.
2 more.
Yeah, they're alive. I got a live one, I got a dead one. All right, who else would be 2 more? Napoleon Hill I love Napoleon Hill. If you guys haven't read any books, please read his books. And then who else come up for me? One more. What's the I'm blanking on his name now. This is hard. So many people, so many influences. The last one's going to be my grandfather. He just passed in July, so I would definitely love to have a conversation with him. He was fun. He's funny. Funny guy. So that would be an interesting dinner there.
Kevin Hart and your grandfather, two funny guys at one very interesting table. Fantastic. Thank you so much. My very last question is, if you could please finish this sentence, chiropractic is...
Chiropractic is an amazing tool to help human beings express their innate health, wisdom, energy, and beingness.
That it is. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode of Let's Talk UCA. Your feedback will help us deliver new topics and guests for future episodes. The bios of the interviewee and co-host, along with our contact links, are included in the show notes below. Thank you for listening.